Shalom. Call halal Yahweh by Shem Shai by Hashem Rakak. Double honors unto the apostles, double honors unto the elder bishops, salutations to all my fellow laborers doing this work in truth and sincerity, risking their lives and their freedom to do so now more so than ever. To the scattered elect that are scattered around the four corners of the earth, that be like unto the speckled bird, the Israelite foreigners among the heathens that look like the heathens, and to the Akwath that are listening and learning, to you I say shalom. This is your brother Malcolm from the branch of the Great Millstone here in Chicago, coming at you another lesson in truth. And turned on my critical race historical facts channel, and Cootie Merrill popped up. I do like this brother Cootie Merrill. He really goes extensive into research, but sometimes he goes heavy into books. And the Bible warns about these, with the never ending of reading all these books, because a lot of these books go off. They rewrite and change history. All right, and the way you gauge history is by matching it up with biblical history, and the brother doesn't do that in some cases. He's often on point, but on this one, I didn't watch the video, so I don't know if he's agreeing with it or not. So let me rephrase that. But I have seen him in the past go into books that give you history, but then when you understand and know who Esau Edom is, Esau Edom will put out what's the word that I'm looking for? He'll put out fabrications. He'll put out fabrications and documented in history to mislead to who he is. You got to remember, this is a self-proclaimed white man. All right, this is Edom. So I'm going to read a historical account in the Bible that proves that that the Moors were not Moab. All right, they try to take the word Moab and match it up with Moor, and for no other reason. I mean, because it's not scripturally sound. It's not historically sound. If you do your research on Ammon and Moab, who are brothers, all right, and this was the Moabite stone, proving that they spoke in Hebrew. All right, that's the ancient Paleo Hebrew on the Moabite stone from King Mesha. All right, the nation of Ammon and the nation of Moab were right next to Samaria in ancient Israel. All right, when you look at maps of ancient Israel, Samaria was where the northern kingdom, who are the so-called Latinos, Native Americans that came here to the Americas, all right, which they fabricated the history behind that, talking about the Bering Strait and all that fabrications. That's what I'm talking about. You got books written about the Bering Strait, but that's a false narrative. The same way that Moab is not the Moors. The Moors are actually Israelites, all right? And in some cases, the Israelites and the Moors were ruling together, okay? In Europe, they were ruling together, all right? And the only difference between a Moor and an Israelite was their beliefs. The Moors had cleaved onto Islam. And speaking on that, before I go into this history, because one thing that is not a custom of Islam is to burn your firstborn son, to sacrifice your son, all right, to their gods. And that's what King Mesha did when he lost the battle against Israel, both the kingdom of Judah, the kingdom of Israel, led by Rehoboam, all right, and Jeroboam, no, Rehoboam, yeah, and the king of the Edomites. Those three kingdoms came together to fight against Moab, and Moab lost. And you can find this history in 2 Kings, the 3rd chapter, and I'm going to read a portion of that. So sacrificing your firstborn son is not a custom of of Islam at all. And that's what King Mesha did when he lost his battle. So I'm going to read from the Quran on page 350 in the book of Cow. All right, I'm in the book of Cow. Okay, and I'm going to put it up for the camera so you can see this for yourself. All right, for you Moors and you Jakes that are following Islam. It says, "O children of Israel, remember my favor wherewith I have favored you, and that high above all mankind I have raised you." So why would you want to be a Moor when the Israelites are high above all mankind? That's Deuteronomy 76, 7 and 6 right there, all right? It says, when the Lord made the trial of Abraham by commandments, which he fulfilled, he said, I am about to make an imam to mankind. He said, the offspring, and he said, of my offspring also. My covenant, said God, embrace of not the evildoers. And remember when we appointed the holy house as a man, the holy house is whose house? The race of the Israelites, Jacob's house. All right. A man's resort and safe retreat, and said, take ye the station of Abraham for a place of prayer as we commanded. So the book of the Quran lets you know that the Israelites is the preeminent race. All right. Not the Moors. Moors are Israelites. And I'm tired of this madness. These things are coming from your own resources. Noble Dre Ali needs to go sit down. There's nothing noble about you, man. All right. It's time for Jake to wake up and stop holding on to these false doctrines. These things that they're saying, it does not match up with history any way whatsoever. All right. As the Moabites were brown in complexion, but they had those features, those Asiatic, for lack of a better word, features. All right. This is the book, A Dictionary Bible by John D. Davis, from 1903. And that's what you're looking at, is the Moabite stone. So I'm going to read a portion of, his book, of this Bible dictionary about Moab and the Moabite stone. So I'm on page 41 and 45. All right, just wanted to show the source. Okay. And it says, Moab, scarcely water of the father, probably desire, son of Lot by incestuous union with his elder daughter. Genesis, all right, that's in the book of Genesis. Okay, I think it's Genesis 19. And it says, and the descendants of Moab's Lot's sons closely related to the Ammonites. Genesis 19, 37, 38. They had become numerous before the time of the Israelites crossed the Red Sea. And that's in Exodus. All right. I think 15. Had taken possession of the country from the plain of Heshbon until the weighty Kurihai, which emerges at the south end of the Dead Sea, and formed the boundary of Moab toward Edom. And their kindred, the Ammonites, had absorbed and destroyed the remnant of the gigantic race which had previously occupied the country east of Jordan. All right. Shortly before the arrival, then no race has been destroyed, man. That the scriptures clearly say there's no end to all the people. No one's going to be destroyed until the Lord comes back and destroys. People get knocked out of rulership, but no race has been completely eliminated or destroyed. That's not true. So now let me jump over to page 45. It says the Moabite stone, inscribed stone found within the territory of Moab, recording the Moabite history in the 19th century. So the Moabite stone is written in ancient Paleo Hebrew. Why are they speaking? If they're why the Moors speaking Arabic? Because Arabic is just broken Hebrew. Okay, remember, because they follow what's his name, Muhammad. Muhammad is of the son of Abraham, and Abraham was a Hebrew. All right, and Abraham came way before Muhammad was ever even thought of. Thousands of years before Muhammad. Okay, so the language of heaven is Hebrew. The language of the God's chosen people, as we just read in the Quran, is Hebrew, not Arabic. The man that you're looking at on the screen is an Israelite, whether he's claiming to be a Moor or not. And the Moors did rule most of Europe after the fall of Rome, along with the Israelites. Okay? It wasn't just the Moors in Spain and Portugal. It was the Israelites there too. And the Moors proceeded to sell the Israelites into captivity. They owned slaves throughout across Europe and also here in the Americas. A lot of the Moors helped set up America, and they enslaved their own people. And those Israelites that fled into West Africa, when they were brought here on slave ships, and some of the people who actually owned plantations were actually Moors. All right. So I always say that the Moors were some of the biggest race traders that the world has ever seen. Now let's look at some of their gods. All right. Here are the gods of Ammon and Moab. You can see those so-called Chinese features on their gods. You can even see it in the dress that they wear. Look like you're looking at an old kung fu movie. All right. And you can see the samurai type headdress that he's wearing. This is a god of Ammon. Okay. The Ammonites. All right. Here you have an image, and of course they whitewash it, of King Mesha, that on that stone, sacrificing his son to the fire and sacrifice him on the wall after losing a battle. That is not a custom of the Moors, of Muhammad. They don't sacrifice their sons when they lose. Here's another one of the. This was Kimash, one of the Moabite gods. You can see those Asiatic, Japanese, Chinese type features, man. Here's back to the original. These are the gods of Ammon and Moab. You can clearly see that these are not Moors. Tired of this madness with these people, man. Here's more of those Ammonite gods. And so you can find more about Moab by just looking at his brother Ammon. You can see the same type dress that the Japanese samurais wore, the same headdress. All right. Once again, it looked like you just walked straight out of a movie in Japan, man. When you look at the dress of this Ammonite god, Ammon and Moab were brothers. All right. And though they didn't always get along, they often warred with one another, but sometimes they didn't. But there's your Moabite god right there. You can see the little Chinese man's face. Okay. Those Asiatic features. Now let's read the account in the Bible, okay, that Mesha did, which is not a Arabic custom of Islam, neither is it a custom of Israel. This is Kings, 3rd Kings, like I said, 2nd Kings, the 3rd chapter. If you read the whole chapter, it's about the Moabite revolt, all right, and how they came against the 3 kings. They came against the king of the kingdom of Judah. They came against the king of the northern kingdom of Israel, and they came against the king of Edom, and they lost. Israel smote them sore. So let's go down to the bottom. I'm gonna start at verse 25, 2 Kings 3:25, and it reads: They destroyed the towns, and each man threw a stone on every good field until it was covered. They stopped up the springs and cut down every good tree. Only Ker Hasheph was left with stones in his place, but men armed with slings surrounded and attacked as well. When King Moab saw the battle had gone against him, he took with him 700 swordsmen to break through to King Edom, but they failed. Then he took his firstborn son, who was to succeed, and this is the, by the way, I'm reading the NIV version because it read a little bit clearer than the King James version, all right? Then, because that's Old English and it kind of throws people off, so I decided to read this NIV version of it. And it says, Then he took the firstborn son, who was to succeed him as king, and offered him as a sacrifice on the city wall. And the fury against Israel was great. They withdrew and returned to their own land. So Moab got his ass beat. He sacrificed his son to fire and threw his body off the wall, and then returned to his own land. This is not a custom of Muslims that I've ever heard of. And I read that right in the book of the Quran, all right, where the Israelites is the preeminent race. Matter of fact, let's get it before we're done. Let's pour some salt on the wound of this lie, of this foolishness, which is believed by this nation of Islam people who the more science, which the people of Islam don't even accept them. All right. But let's go to Deuteronomy 7 and 6, because Islam is a Ishmaelite religion. All right, you Jakes, you Israelites that's in it, you don't even know history, man. Most of you became Islam at the edge of a sword, at the edge of a spear. The same way our people became Christians, at the edge of swords and spears and musket guns. All right, Deuteronomy 7 and 6, and it reads, "For thou art an holy people unto Yahweh thy power. Yahweh thy power hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself above all people that are upon the face of the earth," including the Moors. All right, including Islam. So with that, I'm going to give all praises, all honor and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Wakak Wadash, Wa Ababa Ball, Shalom.